So we'll quickly start unless you guys have any doubt from previous sessions. Yesterday I felt guys that this is going a bit heavy to you. Thoda bahut, hence I mentioned that don't worry if something is not clear. I will have another session for storage if you guys have any doubt. But one more thing, don't worry, हम लोग बहुत in depth सीख रहे हैं. Neither interviewer is going to ask you इतने detail में, nor you will have these actual works. एक storage account बनाने के चक्कर में पूरी की पूरी team बैठ जाती है. You will have someone from security, you will have someone from networking, you will have someone from application team. So you won't have this responsibility on your shoulder alone. कि आपको ही सब end to end करना. This is not going to happen. So here it might look difficult, but you will definitely do it. So don't worry about that. Anyone has any questions? If not, I'll quickly start today's session. Yes, Hussain.
क्वेश्चन ही है बट since I was when I was practicing थोड़ा glitch मुझे लगा but I don't know it's a glitch or not but I wrote it down. So one is that I was not able to delete a blog if I had a snapshot of it. If I had
Okay.
taken a snapshot. Right. This was one.
Okay.
Then second was that I was not able to permanently delete the block if I have soft delete also disabled, but I have versions enabled.
No, that is not a glitch. Those are features. So you'll have to disable the soft delete first. I think I have already covered this. First, what you'll have to do, restore those files which are in soft delete. Then go to configuration setting, disable soft delete, and then you will be able to delete it completely. There should not be anything in versioning or soft delete. Got it?
Okay.
So it's not a glitch, it's a feature. Okay, let's start, guys. Then if no one has any questions other than this, if anyone has questions, please let me know. If not, let's quickly start. Today I'll be starting again with Hussein's question where we left yesterday, that if we do not, while creating the storage account, if access keys are not enabled, then how to use SAS, right? So let's quickly check that. Whether it is enabled or disabled at the time of creation, it doesn't matter. You can change it later. It's not a one-time setting. Okay, let's say that it is disabled at the time of creating or it is enabled. I want to change it. From where can I do it? Can someone tell me? From where can I enable or disable the access key of a storage account?
Configuration.
Yes. Guys, what about others? Are you guys getting it? Are you guys getting the question? Do you guys remember these options? Whatever we saw here, configuration mein kya kya aata hai? So using configuration, you can change it. Okay, you can disable or enable it. So the simple question was, if the access key is disabled, okay, then how am I supposed to access it using shared access signature? So we are not doing a practical for that, but the very simple thing I figured it out. A very simple thing for that is you will have to do it using Azure AD. You'll have to enable the Azure AD access, and with Azure AD access, you'll have to create a security group, and this is a long list of steps, which I told you earlier also, that Azure AD wala zyada use hota bhi nahi hai. But you'll have to enable the Azure AD authorization, and you'll have to create the security groups, add those users, etc., and then you will be able to use SAS via Azure AD. So it has to be either access key or Azure AD. From interview perspective, don't worry about it. No one is going to ask you in detail. I mean, looking at the questions which we have, interviews which we look, no one has asked in this detail. When it comes to actual work environment also, I've been telling you that mostly we have seen access key. You will not see Azure AD. And if you see, you'll get the SOP and everything. So don't worry about it. Okay. So is that clear, Hussein?
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing, where we left yesterday was we were looking at our replication, right? So let's quickly go ahead and check replication. By the way, did you guys check that from which replication can you not come back, and from which replication can you go to higher and lower? Did you check that? Yesterday we stopped there and I asked you guys to check. Did someone check? For example, redundancy. If I have LRS, can I go to GRS? Or if I am already on GRS, can I go back to LRS? Did someone check that, guys?
Sure.
No, please do check, guys. So let's see. One thing I'm checking for you. From LRS, can I go to GRS? Let's quickly check. Here it is. We can go, right? From GRS to, can I go back to LRS? Yes, we can, right? From LRS to, can I go to RAGRS? You don't have to do it practically, everything. Okay, guys? You don't have to do it. I'm just showing it to you because I'm here on this page. This is already there on Azure's website. You simply just have to go ahead and read it once. Even if you click it here, you will get it that which can be reverted, which cannot be reverted. There are hardly one or two which cannot be reverted. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing RAGRS and GRS. So I hope you guys got the details of GRS and RAGRS. I don't have to create two accounts now.
No.
Okay, now let's quickly see the failover. Now the failover is not going to happen because I've just started the replication. Okay, this is my primary storage account in East US. By default uska West US hoga. Now this is being synchronized for first time, hence the failover option is not available. So we'll wait for some time, and once we get the failover option, I will show it to you that how do we do the failover and then what will happen after failover. Okay, so now this is RAGRS. Under RAGRS, we all know that we are getting two endpoints. Okay, by the way, guys, endpoint, is it only affiliated with storage, or do you think it's affiliated with other services also? Be it private endpoint or endpoint, any endpoint. What do you think?
It should be related to other services as well.
Perfect. Yes, it is there with Azure Cosmos. It is there with Azure DB. It is there with SQL. It is there with web app. It is there with function app. Anything and everything, mostly PaaS services. जहां पर भी आपको use करना है ना service, right? So you will have one endpoint. Using that endpoint only, your application will access that service. और उसी same endpoint को, if you do not want to use it over the internet, if you want to use it internally, that will be called your private endpoint. Concept is same, no matter where you apply it. Is it clear? Endpoint and private endpoint.
Yes.
It will happen in same manner like we saw it on storage. That example, you have Azure web app and उस web app पे एक endpoint है, आप उसको internet से access कर रहे हो, fine. But there is some requirement that उस web app को सिर्फ आपके internal machines use करने वाले. You do not require anything over the internet. You can create a private endpoint. And what will the private endpoint do? Same thing. It will extend that resource to one of the VNets or subnet, and one NIC will get applied. Clear? Exactly like the way I showed you. Where is it? I think this is the one, right? So instead of Azure storage, it could be anything. It could be SQL, it could be a DB, it could be a web app, it could be a function app, it could be a key vault, it could be anything. In similar manner, it will extend that resource to one of the VNets which you select, and that VNet or subnet will assign a NIC to that resource, and then it will happen. The communication will happen internally instead of over the internet. It will happen internally. So endpoints and private endpoints are applicable to almost all resources. Clear hai to everyone? If you just want to make analogy, you can treat it as public IP or private IP. Not exactly, do not say this in your interview, but for your understanding. Public IP ho gaya, so you're connecting it from outside. Private IP ho gaya, you're connecting it from inside. So it's endpoint and private endpoint. Yes, guys, is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So while this is being fetched, while this is being ready for the first failover, let me quickly explain it to you. What do you think, guys, it will happen in be it RAGRS or GRS? Okay, same thing will happen. If I do the failover, what will happen? Let's say that I've got a news, or my users are saying that they are not able to access a storage account which is there in East US, and I got a confirmation from Microsoft that our region East US is down. It will be down for 8 hours, or we are going to take at least one day. there's some natural disaster over there. We will be taking 1 day for that to get recovered. So the business decision is, okay, you have to do a failover. We can't wait for 1 day, right? Failover, it's hardly gonna take 3 or 4 hours because we have a less data, let's say. So 3 hours, it's better than 1 day. So your business team or app owner, they have decided that we should go with failover. So once this is available, and if I do the failover, what do you think will happen? Will this become primary and this become secondary, or what do you think will happen? I'm not expecting a correct answer. No one will know this unless you know the Azure. No one will know this. Just trying to understand your logic and your rationale behind it. Meanwhile, this button is getting activated. So just wanted to see your understanding. What do you think will happen? Or did anyone try? Yes, guys. Let's say that this is my East US. Something wrong with Mike, Salman bhai? This is my East US and this is my West US, okay? And I'm sure all of you know by now that you cannot select this region. Can you select this region, guys? किसका
No.
sync किस region से होना चाहिए, right? It is already there in the paired region. By default, it will be there. This is in storage redundancy. When we go to our site recovery or ASR, you'll see the similar screen, but वहां पर एक चीज different है. We'll see that. But when it comes to storage redundancy, you cannot select the paired region. It is already there. So my question is that my primary East US is my primary as of now. Data is being synced. Ignore the spelling, guys. Okay, this is a secondary. So now from here, data is being synced here continuously. This is happening. Okay, now this goes down for some reason, and the Microsoft says East US is gonna take 1 day. एक दिन लगेगा इसको पूरा ये होने में, up होने में. So you have decided कि secondary से आपको ये चलाना है. First thing, if it is RAGRS, will I have access to secondary without failover to at least to read some data?
Yes, you will have.
Yes, yes.
And if it is
Yes.
GRS, will I have access to secondary to read the
No.
data? Right. You will have to wait till the time you complete your failover. In RAGRS, will I be able to edit some data before my failover is happening? Before that, failover होने के बाद तो
No.
एकदम as good as आपका जो proper database चलता है ना वैसे ही चलेगा वो. Before failover happens, will I be able to delete or edit some data?
No.
No,
No.
you won't.
Why not?
Because
you don't
read
it only
access.
provides you read access.
Read access. Yes, it clearly says that it is only read access. Okay. So what will happen? I'll tell you guys. While this is being done, I'll explain it to you and then we'll see the practical, and then our storage topic is over here. We'll move ahead to the next topic. I have to cover one small topic, but very important. So I think migration तो वैसे ही आज नहीं शुरू कर पा रहे हैं. Backup and recovery service or backup and synchronization जो है उसको हम आज शुरू कर लेंगे theory part. But before that, I have one more topic to cover. Before that, let's quickly finish this. I'm just waiting for this to become available, this button to become available so we can do the failover. But I'll tell you what will happen here. Be it RAGRS or GRS, whatever. See, no matter whether I see a primary endpoint or primary or secondary, it doesn't matter. The result will be same. The moment I start failover, what will happen? This West US, it will become your primary region in some time. It takes time, but it will become your primary region. Okay, and what will happen to to East US? Can anyone guess?
It may become your secondary region, like they'll swap with
Okay.
each other.
Okay, yeah. It's a good thinking, and I normally this is how you would think. No, but that is not what happens. What will happen? West US will become primary, and your redundancy will change to LRS automatically. No matter what you have selected, now you are at GRS or whatever you are at GRS, RAGRS, जहां पर भी आप हो, the moment you do a failover, आपका secondary जो है ना, वो आपका बन जाएगा primary. So your access has started already. Your application is working, but it will go back to the normal one, the basic one. You cannot have less than LRS, right? Can I have a storage account without any durability?
No.
No, so it will go to the lowest version, which is LRS. And once it goes to LRS, you can start using your application, you can start using that, and again you will have to configure it. फिर से आपको उसको configure करना पड़ेगा secondary region के लिए, आपके durability के लिए. You'll have to configure it. That time again you can select whether you want to go with ZRS, you want to go with GRS, RAGRS, जो भी करना है, you can again do that. We'll see that in a minute. The moment this button becomes available, we are going to see that. Did you guys understand that? Any question till here?
So, well, means are we facing downtime like, ultimately when we will fail or it's not?
Hussein, can't hear you properly. Your voice is breaking.
Can we experience a downtime then?
Oh, yeah, of course. There will be a downtime, no doubt. Definitely a downtime will be there. See, it has already down. See, when are you doing this failover? Okay, let's say these are your users. Okay, this is your application. They are accessing your application. Your application is dependent on this database or storage account. सब कुछ इसी में saved है, ठीक है? आपका website भी इसी में save है, आपका database भी इसी में save है, सब कुछ इसी में save है. Now you are not doing it. You are not for the sake of it. No, you are not doing the failover. This region has down. So downtime is already started. आपका East US region जो है ना वो down चला गया. Are you getting the point? Hussein? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I think that's some issue with Hussein's mic. So are you guys getting it? That you are not responsible for this downtime. आप अपने शौक के लिए इसको failover नहीं कर रहे हो, right? There is a downtime already and the application is out of service already. Application नहीं चल रहा है. It could be Citibank, it could be any bank service, anything. कोई app है कुछ भी, it has already stopped working. And then engineers and all, they have started checking, and now they came to know after talking to Microsoft or that the region is down, and the TAT which they have received for region to come up again, it's 24 hours. And now they have decided that, okay, I don't want to wait for 24 hours. I'll do the failover, and then this is how it should work. After failover, this is how it will work. Clear? So downtime definitely होने वाला है यहाँ पर. But you are minimizing the downtime. Azure इस region को एक दिन में up ला रहा है, but आपका ये जो पूरा practical है, this is going to happen within 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours depending on the data and application and everything. 2-4 घंटे में आपका application फिर से up and running हो जाएगा. Are you guys getting it?
Sohail bhai, I have a question here.
Yes, Salman bhai.
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Yes, Sohail bhai, ये पूछ रहा था मैं कि एट द सेम टाइम जब डेटा ईस्ट यूएस पे सिंक हो रहा है तो ऐसा कोई प्रोसेस नहीं है एज्योर में जिसमें डेटा सेम टाइम पे वेस्ट यूएस पे भी सिंक हो तो डाउन टाइम से मे भी बच सके.
नहीं, डाउन टाइम से कैसे होगा? सिंक हो रहा है ना. सिंक हो रहा है तभी तो आपका ये डेटाबेस काम का है. The moment you said that you are doing a GRS, इसका मतलब ही तो है सिंक हो रहा है. What else do you mean by this? See, 6 replica का मतलब क्या होता है? replication is after synchronization. ये डेटा continuous sync हो रहा है, but ये डाउन टाइम जो है ये आपके एंड पॉइंट सारे इस एप्लीकेशन जो इस पे लगे हुए थे सारे यहाँ से यहाँ आने में ये जो 3-2 hours है ना, इसमें डेटा यहाँ से कॉपी बैकअप रिस्टोर वगैरह कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. ये फेल ओवर प्रोसेस में 2 घंटे लग जाते हैं. In these 2 hours, your data is not being copied from here to here. Don't get confused, guys, if that is the thought you have in your mind. Data is not being copied. Data तो पहले से ही copy हो रहा था. और the moment this has down, ये जैसे ही down चला गया उसके बाद का data वैसे भी नहीं मिलने वाला है आपको. Because this is not backup, this is your replication. एक point जो यहाँ पर लिखा जा रहा था ना, maybe एक 5 minute का delay होता है, 5-10 minutes का, but whatever data was being written here, यहाँ पर जो भी लिखा जा रहा था, similarly at the same moment it was being written here. Real time में. बैकअप वगैरह नहीं है कि सुबह 11 बजे का है रात के 10 बजे का. That is not the case here. So data is being replicated. That is why we call it replica. Real time it is being replicated. एक 5 या 10 मिनट का लैग हो सकता है, 10-15 मिनट का, whatever. You get that time कि भाई आपका लास्ट जो है यहाँ सिंक हुआ था, इस 5 मिनट का या 10 मिनट का डेटा आपका लॉस हो जाएगा. उससे ज्यादा कोई लॉस नहीं होगा. So these 2 hours which I'm talking about, this your data is not being copied or restore anything. ये बस यहाँ से जो आपका पूरा ये है connectivity है, this connectivity moving from here to here, this process is gonna take 2 hours. Was that your concern, Salman?
Yes, Sohail bhai.
So yes, this is the case where your data is being replicated real time. Down होने के बाद तो see, the moment it went down, इसमें कोई और डेटा होगा क्या? डेटा आ कहाँ से रहा है? एप्लीकेशन से. एप्लीकेशन में कहाँ से आ रहा है? यूजर से. The moment this goes down, ये वैसे ही एरर दे देगा क्योंकि इसका होम पेज, वेब पेज, जहां पर भी लेट्स से देयर इज एन एप्लीकेशन जहां पर यूजर्स अपना डेटा अपलोड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, तो उसका वेबसाइट, उसके ऐप, उसका सब कुछ यहीं पर कहीं रखा हुआ है. when this is down, कनेक्टिविटी डाउन होती है तो यूजर कोई नया डेटा अपलोड ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो द लास्ट डेटा दिस storage account will have is whatever the time it went down. वो डाउन होने से पहले 1-2 मिनट का जितना का डेटा होगा, लेट्स से this went at 1400 IST. तो 1400 IST के बाद इसमें कोई डेटा आने वाला है? नो, बिकॉज इट इज एक्सेसिबल ही नहीं है. इट इज नॉट एक्सेसिबल एनीमोर. और ये सिंक हुआ है आपका 1350 तक. इसमें डेटा है 1350 IST. तो बस ये 10 मिनट का जो है ये डेटा नहीं है इसमें. अदरवाइज सारा डेटा इसमें रेप्लिकेट होता जा रहा है ऑलरेडी. So these 2 hours which I'm talking about failover के, this is not copying any data from this storage account. Got it, guys?
Yes.
Anyone else who has any doubt? It's not clear.
Well,
Yes,
I
please
have
do
one
ask if you have. If you have any doubts, please do ask. Otherwise, I am always under presumption that you guys are not asking, so I think okay, clear हो गया, right? So see, this is very simple concept that we have been reading or discussing from day one, that this is replication, replication, replication. अगर आज भी ऐसा question आ रहा है that ये copy कैसे हो रहा है, which means we missed somewhere. Either I missed, you missed, but we missed somewhere. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, we missed it. Who did it doesn't matter, right? So that should not be the case. So if you do not understand anything, don't think it is a silly question. या यार ये storage के last session में ये question मैं कैसे पूछ लूँ? Don't think about it. That time you are free to type also. I always encourage to speak, but if you think nahi, I don't want to speak, you just simply send it to me over the Zoom, private message, WhatsApp, wherever. Without taking name, I'll explain it. But do ask. Yes, sorry, someone else was saying something. Faisal, was that you?
Yes, sir. So we have to pay charges for this.
Yeah, we saw that, right? See, we saw Azure
well,
calculator, if you remember. Failover के as such कोई चार्ज नहीं पे करने पड़ रहे हैं आपको. Failover जो एक
Yes, sir.
एक्ट जो हम कर रहे हैं ना, उसके नहीं पे करने पड़. जो बट डेटा रेप्लिकेट कर रहे हो ना आप, उसका बहुत हेवी
उसका
चार्ज
pay-
पे कर रहे हो आप. We saw this,
Okay.
you remember? I'll still show it to you once. Let's say that I am creating a storage account. 1700 है LRS के साथ. The moment I say GRS, 3000. Almost double I am paying. You see? I mean, whatever the data is, इसको हम change नहीं कर रहे फिलहाल. 1000 GB है, जो भी है, but whatever it is, with LRS I'm paying 1700 per month. The moment I say I want GRS, how much am I paying? 37. So yes, you are paying a heavy charge for this. And see, you want RA-GRS, you're paying 4800 per month. Clear everyone?
Yes.
Anyone else, guys? Koi question?
No.
So, by difference between the GRS and RA-GRS.
Hmm.
So I have a question about that.
Yeah, please
In
ask.
RA-GRS, we can only have a read access, right?
Yes.
But in
yes.
RA-GRS, the same scenario happens. Like the primary location is down, the primary zone is down. So it will work like GRS, similar to GRS. Like the data will get replicated. But then, what is the difference between RA-GRS and GRS?
No, guys,
It's only read access. It's only
don't
read
get
access,
confused. Right? Yeah, don't get confused. Your data doesn't get the replication doesn't get started when something is down. Okay, just to make you clear. I'm coming to your question also, Navid. I'll explain it in detail now. Replication तब शुरू नहीं हो रहा जब कुछ down होता है ना, तब नहीं शुरू होता है. Replication, the moment you click here, see replication has been started. First synchronization हो रहा है यहाँ पर. Replication तभी शुरू हो जाता है. GRS हो या RA-GRS हो, दोनों केस में. Is it clear till now?
Right. It's real time. It's real time. As
Real
the
time.
data is getting stored in the primary location.
Right.
Primary
Store,
zone, it's,
edit, delete,
vice
जो
versa.
भी right, जो भी यहाँ पर हो रहा है, जो भी यहाँ पर हो रहा है, इसका replica यहाँ पर बनता जाएगा. If I delete this one, यहाँ से डिलीट हो जाएगा। इफ आई एडिट दिस वन, यहाँ पर एडिट हो जाएगा। ठीक है, 5-10 मिनट का
Correct.
लैग होगा, उससे ज्यादा नहीं। यहाँ तक क्लियर है
सेम टू
कॉन्सेप्ट?
सेम टू सेम डेटा रहेगा, मतलब जैसा
Yes.
प्राइमरी जोन में है वैसा सेम।
राइट, यहाँ तक क्लियर है दोनों के लिए? ओके,
हाँ
नाउ
हाँ
द डिफरेंस बिटवीन GRS एंड RGRS कि जब GRS मैंने ले रखा है ना, एंड दिस इज डाउन, नाउ दिस इज डाउन, ओके, and I am planning to do the failover and I want to use my app using this data, this secondary region, इसको मैं primary कर दूंगा। ठीक है, तो कितना टाइम लगेगा इसमें? Naved, what we have been discussing, how much time will it take?
2 to 3 hours. You said 2 to
hours.
3 hours is what it
So
takes.
those 2 to
approximately.
3 hours, those 2 to 3 hours, neither I can see the data nor I can edit, I cannot do anything। क्यों?
To the
क्योंकि
secondary,
क्योंकि प्राइमरी जो है
from the
आपका,
secondary location as well.
प्राइमरी तो आपका डाउन है, सेकेंडरी का एंड पॉइंट है क्या आपके पास? व्हेन यू गो टू GRS का सेकेंडरी का एंड पॉइंट दिख रहा है क्या? हाउ विल यू एक्सेस सेकेंडरी? सेकेंडरी प्राइमरी बन जाएगा तब, देन दैट टाइम यू विल एबल टू एक्सेस इट, बट उसमें 2 से 3 घंटे लग रहे हैं। सो दोस 2 to 3 hours, do you have anything from where you can access the data in GRS?
Yeah, for the temporary 3 hours while the data is getting.
Yes, for those 3 hours.
There's some
Yeah.
background, something's happening on the background, as in the endpoint is changing the endpoint from
Yes.
the primary to the secondary.
Those
Right.
3 hours, do you
So
have
those 3
something?
hours is not accessible.
Right. So in
The
those
temporary
3
3
hours, yes, in those 3 hours, RAGRS will give you secondary point का link कि ठीक है मैं इसको primary तो कर देता हूँ, meanwhile take my link also, you can access my data, read my data. So this is only for those 3 to 4 hours। जो failover में time लगने वाला है ना, उसमें भी कोई crucial file है कि आपको देखनी थी? This went down, East US went down. Now you have started failover, West US will become your primary. It's gonna take 4 hours. But वो 4 hours में GRS में आपके पास सारी कोई विजिबिलिटी नहीं, पूरा ब्लैक साइड है। जब तक ये प्राइमरी नहीं बनता यू कैन नॉट एक्सेस। RAGRS में while this is becoming primary, you still have access to this one कि आप इसको एटलीस्ट रीड कर सकते हो।
For those 3 hours while it's changing the endpoint.
Yes.
While the
Yes.
it's kind of migration, the application is moving from
नहीं
the
don't call
primary.
it migration। Migration, especially in Azure, इसको migration मत बोलो। Jargons are very important।
Sorry.
In a way you
not
are correct।
migration.
हाँ, in a way you are correct, लेकिन if you say it, interviewer is not gonna understand कि यार what you mean here, migration को English term में बोल रहे हो आप, right? So don't do that। Migration यहाँ पर एकदम एक अलग ही ये है।
So earlier this application was connected to the primary location, to the primary East US zone.
Right.
When the East US zone went down due to the failover.
No, not due to the failover।
Not failure. Failure, like the entire
वो
center went down.
Azure के किसी रीजन से गया या किसी भी रीजन से, right?
So that region went down. So this application is directly connecting to the secondary application then. Like it takes 3 hours. The 3 hours is to change the endpoint. Like
right.
Automatically on the back end.
Right. Meanwhile, if you want to check something manually using your storage explorer, वो endpoint को आप अपने storage explorer से connect कर सकते हो। वो जो endpoints है ना आपके, those endpoints can be used here। उन endpoints को use करके आप अपने storage explorer से ये कर सकते हो। So while your application और ये सब up होके 2 घंटे में 3 घंटे में चलने लग जाएगा, उस बीच में अगर आपको manually कुछ check करना है storage explorer से, so to access that data, you will require some endpoints, right? So that you get in your RAGRS.
Okay, that is only this feature. So this 3 hour feature, the 3 hours temporary 3 hours when the server is down, means the zone is getting migrated. I mean to say it's getting transferred to the secondary.
Only for these 3 hours. Right. While it is being transferred.
No, my question is like with regards to RAGRS. So only in RAGRS we have access to it. In normal GRS we would not be able to read. We will not be able to read that. Read the data or access the data in the secondary.
For those 3 hours.
On the secondary zone. For those 3 hours. Okay.
Yes.
And after 3 hours, the secondary will become primary.
Yes. After 3 hours, दोनों में same है. After once the failover is done, दोनों में exact same features है. ये primary बन जाएगा. It's the same thing. Which application
secondary
do you think
it's used primary,
for?
right? Secondary will turn into primary. And the primary का we have to configure it manually, you said. Like we'll have to do
primary रहेगा ही नहीं. एक ही primary हो जाएगा. ये चला जाएगा आपका. ये disconnect ही हो जाएगा completely. We'll see that. You'll see it.
आप बोल रहे उसमें खाली LRS चलेगा primary में, मतलब it will only
this will become primary. This will become primary with LRS feature. Simple.
Secondary will become primary. Okay, so secondary will become primary with LRS feature.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, who else was asking? Yes, Salman bhai.
Salman here as well, bhai. As well, bhai. So I'm just checking one practical question, like this is a rare scenario in the live environment, right?
बहुत ही
While
rare.
we are,
And you won't even get to do it. I told you, being an implementation team, you will never ever able to see the live environment. Maximum you will do the test failover before you hand over it to someone. कि एक बार failover करके देखते हैं before I hand it over. Because it happens in production environment और बहुत ही कम देखने मिलेगा आपको. Mostly healthcare domain जो है ना वो लोग रखते हैं क्योंकि उनके लिए patient when some patient is dying or critical situation उनके लिए वो 3 घंटे भी बहुत ही ज्यादा crucial होते हैं. That my application, let's say that this application is some hospital application, okay? This application cannot say, ये application owner नहीं बोल सकता कि ठीक है ना 4 घंटे data accessible नहीं तो क्या हुआ. Let's say in those 4 hours में ही कोई ऐसा patient आ गया यहाँ पर, end user यहाँ पर बैठा है, reception पे ये software use कर रहा है, जो connected है यहाँ से, जिसका database connected है यहाँ पर, एक patient आ गया है किसी emergency के लिए, and now they have entered the ID वगैरह, ठीक है, हमारे यहाँ तो इतना है नहीं, but US वगैरह में इतना detail में है that you put SSN number and you'll get everything, history, geography सब मिल जाएगा उस patient का, कि इसको किस चीज से एलर्जी है, किस चीज से नहीं है, पास्ट में क्या क्या हुआ है, बीपी कौन सा है, ब्लड ग्रुप कौन सा है, क्या है, सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. इमेजिन इस टाइम पे ये डाउन हुआ है एंड देन यू आर सेइंग कि यार ठीक है, आई डोंट वांट टू टेक आरएच जीआरएस 3 आवर्स, आई विल बेयर इट, और उस 3 आवर्स में ऐसे 4 पेशेंट आ जाते हैं एंड यू डोंट हैव एक्सेस टू योर डेटा एट ऑल. इमेजिन दैट टाइम कि आप यहाँ पर लुकिंग एट दिस अमाउंट, यू थिंक ये बहुत ज्यादा है, व्हाई शुड आई पे दिस मच, राइट? व्हाई शुड आई पे, ये जो कैलकुलेटर हमने देखा, मैं क्यों 4800 पे करूं जब मेरा काम जो है जीआरएस अगर मैं रखता हूं 37 में, व्हाई शुड आई पे 1000 रुपीज एक्स्ट्रा पर मंथ फॉर 100,000 GB. So imagine this situation that you are putting 3 or 4 people's life at stake. So a healthcare application, they will never ever do it. और ultimately उनको पैसा तो अपने क्लाइंट से लेना ही होता है, right? So whatever they use it here, वो वहां से कमा ही लेंगे. But they mostly you'll see healthcare applications they are using it. तो इस 3 घंटे में भी at least they have read access to this patient's data. So if they want to do the operation, they want to begin the operation, they will go ahead and quickly check कि इसका पास्ट में क्या क्या ऑपरेशन हुआ है, किससे से एलर्जी है, कौन सा ब्लड ग्रुप है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. They have access, they read it and done. They're ready to do their work. So बहुत ही rare होगा.
More of a medical records, hospital records, it's all.
हाँ, कुछ भी हो
Health
सकता है.
insurance,
And you don't
insurance
even have to worry about it. ये
insurance
आपका client,
also.
if your client wants to do it for a gaming application also, why do you care? He is paying, right? आपको बस implement करना है. But for your information, I'm telling you कि कोई पूछता है कि हाँ भाई आपने कभी GRS setup किया है कि you can say that yes, I did it once. There was a client, it was from medical domain, health domain. इससे थोड़ा सा realistic approach लगता है आपकी इंटरव्यू में. That is the reason I keep sharing this information with you. Otherwise, there can be a user or a client who has immense amount of money, especially from, you'll see these clients from Middle East, कि उसका पर्सनल ऐप होगा कोई जहाँ पे अपने फैमिली के पिक्चर्स लगा रखा है, उसने बस जमाते जा रहा है अपने बहुत एंसेस्टर से लेके अब तक की पिक्चर्स, ने बच्चे की पिक्चर डेली अपलोड करता है, ऐसी कोई पर्सनल ऐप है उसकी. ऑन दैट ऑल्सो ही वांट्स GRS and RS GRS. His well, he wants to pay, he is ready to pay. There are no technical obligations, right? And if client says I'm ready to pay, you'll have to do it. So you don't have to worry about it. But you should know normally कैसे होता है. Yeah, someone else had any question?
So bhai, day before yesterday, that means last Thursday, we had a power failure of for 9 hours. In this scenario, have you ever faced such scenario or experience the power failure and the site is down completely?
See, power failure मतलब कौन सा ये होगा? What do you think? Power failure मतलब क्या हुआ? पूरा region down हुआ या एक data center down हुआ? What do you think?
एक data center down हुआ.
तो इसमें अगर आपके पास ZRS है तो आपका काम वैसे ही हो गया. एंड ये पावर फेलियर वगैरह जो है ना, ये छोटी मोटी इश्यूज है, ये सब हम लोगों पे अप्लाई होते हैं, एंड यूजर्स पे. डेटा सेंटर को कोई खास फर्क पड़ता नहीं है. आई टेल यू व्हाई. पावर सप्लाई फेलियर जो हुआ था यहाँ पर, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द पुणे, राइट? सो इट डिडंट हैपन विद
Yes.
टाटा एंड ऑल अदर्स. इट हैपेंड ओनली विद MSCB, जो महाराष्ट्र का हमारा सप्लायर है ना, उससे होगा. बट आई टोल्ड यू दैट व्हेन यू गो टू डेटा सेंटर, दे विल ऑलवेज हैव 3 to 4 प्रोवाइडर्स. They will take it from MSCB also, they'll take it from Tata Power also, they'll take it from Adani also. तो एक फेल भी हो जाता है, it doesn't matter. They have a large generator वगैरह, इतना large होता है कि एक दो दिन के पावर फेलियर से उनको फर्क भी नहीं पड़ता है. So इतनी छोटी चीजों से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उन लोगों को. But yes, it's a good example. If something happens, you can do this. तब भी ये काम में आ सकता है. Okay.
You had explained about availability sets where the fault domain, the 3 fault domains. So in the fault domain,
हाँ, that
if
is for
one provider
VM.
goes down.
that is for VM. Here we are talking about storage. Durability same है, उसमें भी है, इसमें भी है. I hope you're not getting confused, right?
No, not
VMs
confused.
के
I'm
लिए
just
हाँ,
giving an example as you had given the
right,
example.
right.
Like it is similar to how it works in the VM thing.
राइट तो यहाँ पर जो
Availability
मैं
set.
बोल रहा था कि आपका स्टोरेज डाउन, ईस्ट यूएस अगर डाउन हुआ है, पूरा स्टोरेज डाउन हुआ है, तो अगर आपका ये वर्चुअल मशीन ईस्ट यूएस में था तो ये भी डाउन हो गया है, राइट? सो इट्स नॉट गोना हेल्प कि आप सिर्फ रीपॉइंट कर दो, आपका ये भी डाउन हुआ है, तो इसके लिए भी आपके पास रिडंडेंसी होनी चाहिए. अगर आपके वर्चुअल मशीन में ही रिडंडेंसी नहीं थी और इसकी रिडंडेंसी है, तो क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा? हाउ विल यू यूज इट? लेट्स से दैट यू हैव ओनली वन वर्चुअल मशीन इन ईस्ट यूएस एंड वन स्टोरेज अकाउंट, और उस स्टोरेज अकाउंट का रेप्लिकेशन है, बट आपका ये वर्चुअल मशीन भी तो डाउन हो जाएगा. अगर ईस्ट यूएस डाउन होगा और वर्चुअल मशीन ईस्ट यूएस में है, तो ये भी तो डाउन हो गया. देन वेयर इज द रिडंडेंसी? सो रिडंडेंसी तभी होगी जब आपने इसका भी किसी ना किसी तरह का कोई बैकअप वगैरह, लोड बैलेंसर, अदर रीजन कुछ ना कुछ कर रखा होगा, राइट? तभी उसकी आपको कंप्लीट रिडंडेंसी होगी उस एप्लीकेशन की. और समवेयर हियर, यहाँ पर भी आपने एक एप्लीकेशन का रेप्लिकेशन रखा होगा एक छोटा सा, कि ये कभी डाउन होता तो ऑन किया होगा. यू डोंट डिजाइन ऑल इट, सो डोंट वरी, इतना सब आप डिजाइन नहीं करते हो. एज ऑफ नाउ वी आर फोकसिंग ऑन स्टोरेज, सो विल टॉक अबाउट स्टोरेज. बाकी ये सब किसका काम है? ये एप्लीकेशन ओनर का काम है. ओके, नाउ आई सी. यस.
Yeah, sorry. So I just wanted to know कि जब down रहता है, let's say east region down है, and I have selected the option where I'm using the redundancy of GRS. But now when the area is down, or let's say a region is down, I need to do it RAGRS because I want to see my data which is on the secondary endpoint. Is it possible to do it?
No, it's not. That will cover सिंक्रोनाइजेशन और बैकअप में क्या फर्क है, दैट विल डू इट. सिंक्रोनाइजेशन तभी हो सकता है जब आपका प्राइमरी ऑन है ना, तभी आप सिंक्रोनाइजेशन में कोई चेंजेस कर सकते हो. ठीक है, सो दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. ओके, ओनली 1 minute is left, guys. Let me start the failover and we'll come back. So let's see, prepare for failover. ये बता रहा है यहाँ पर कि इस टाइम के बाद का डेटा आपके पास अवेलेबल नहीं रहेगा. आई एम सेइंग फाइन, यस, failover. So when session finishes, guys, I'll send the link, or I'll send a message maybe after 5 or 7 minutes because I don't want to waste time here. Or let's join at 14:45, irrespective of this one. ये होता है या नहीं, we'll join it 14:45, a break of 5 minutes. Okay, I have started the failover. ठीक है, we'll resume at 14:45 and we'll see how it looks. Same link. I'm stopping the session, guys.